No matter what the context, making wrong choices costs time, money, and sometimes life. Let's look at a case study from 1980. In the city of Angarsk, one of Russia's largest engineering plants provided steel processing. A crane controlled by workers took hot 1-ton blocks of metal from the furnaces, then submerged these in baths of oil to rapidly cool and harden them. Oil is the preferred medium for rapid heat transfer, as it minimizes distortion and cracking in the cooling metal. This process is called quenching. When hot steel touches oil, it burns and makes a lot of smoke, which the workers were complaining about. The first obvious solution to address that complaint was to get rid of the smoke by improving the ventilation system. To do this properly, large exhaust ventilation pipes were installed. These were bulky and affected the work of other equipment. Also, drafts from air intakes were so strong that workers would get cold and again complain. The second obvious solution was to close the bath with a lid. However, this prevented the crane operator from seeing the submerging process, and careful control of this was essential. Then a brilliant idea came to mind: to do the process quicker, quenching the metal in 2 seconds rather than 10, resulting in 7% less smoke. However, fast submerging created waves in the oil, so the walls of the bath needed to be modified. Money was spent on extending these. Another issue was that the crane was not designed for the faster process. There was no braking system to allow for miscalculations of speed and distance, and as a consequence, a hot metal block broke the bath. The result? 2 tons of oil spilled all over the floor, stopping production for several days whilst it was cleaned up. When it happened a second time, it was realised that the new solution wasn't working well at all. To improve the situation, a new braking system was installed. This stopped the submersion process as soon as the metal was fully immersed. As the steel blocks were very heavy, the sharp braking caused dynamic impact forces to travel through the crane's main beam, which then started to bend, a critical situation. The obvious solution then seemed that if the beam was being bent, it needed to be strengthened with additional framework. Significant improvements to the cranes were made, which seemed to be effective. But after some time, they noticed the floor under the crane rails was cracking as a result of the additional weight. This was not a local problem. The fractures put the whole building at risk of sudden collapse. This was a critical situation that needed serious capital investment and a professional TRIZ expert on board in order to solve. This was an example of how standard reactive problem-solving damaged an entire system. The result was 8 months of lost production capacity at a cost of over $2 million.